course, I went and took down all the Instagram when I was messing with things earlier. So we're going to have to do that real quick so we can be live on Instagram too. 3. So, and I had already hit it. Only 2. Public. Next. Screen copy. This is good because we need to finish getting set up with Matty Ice anyway. So let's make that. Edit down here. Pop this in here. Save changes. There we go. And now, just wait a second so we can go live on Instagram and start this show. I know people are already watching and waiting. Reese, I'm sure, is already here. Here we go. Got it up on a Monday. Hey, everybody. Y'all know what it is. It's Dad Mentality. Of course, we got this week. Everybody knows our wives are here. So really, it's wife mentality. Today, we're going to have a great discussion. We have my beautiful wife of 24 years, getting ready to be 25 in September, Miss Queen Beast, a.k.a. Victoria. So, and we also have the lady O, Miss O, a woman of many talents, coming here, joining us. Also the wife of Matty Ice Cold Crypto. And we're going to discuss changes and things that have happened in our relationship, marriage. I really don't know what's going on because the wives say they taking over this show. So, I'm just here to join and have a good time. And, let's just let's do what it do. Y'all know what it is. Dad mentality.
What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I'll be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Sometimes we gotta fix our mental. Or maybe it's not meant to be a dad, a father, that's what men do. I made a promise to my kids, that's what I do. I just want them to do things better than I do. Or better yet, better things that I did. What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I'll be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Welcome to the show, shout out to the coach. And Matty Ice Cold Crypto. And each one, teach one. That's mentality, we just try to reach one. What is, that's mentality.
Hello. Welcome to Dad Mentality. It's your boy, the Beast One. I'm glad to be here. I'm going to hand this over real quick after a quick announcement. Just want to let y'all know, not only do we have our special episode today, we will have another special episode tomorrow starting at 7:30, where we will be premiering season 2 of The Knox. The Knox is done by Art by Guapo. He's also the person who did the Dad Mentality intro that you just watched and did the animation there. And if you think that was fire, wait until you check out The Knox in season 2. Please go back, rewatch season 1. Make sure you get caught up with the things that's going to happen. Tomorrow I will be playing season 1 throughout the day so y'all can check it out. But check it out on your own. Go to The Knox on YouTube. Check that out. And like I said, tomorrow will definitely be a great show. I already know Reese, LA Josh Preston, Trey Money's going to show up. And we're going to just have a great round table and talk about those, talk about that new season episode. So Now I'm gonna pass the mic over to my beautiful, gorgeous wife, who's gonna be right doing her introductions and everything, and take over the show and just hang out and have some fun. Go ahead, babe. It's
Hello,
up to you.
hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the Dad Mentality Show. But the wives are taking over tonight. Yes, yes. I'm so excited to be here with my girl Olivia. Hey, Olivia. How you doing?
Hey girl, hey.
Hey. So just like the dads start with their mental health check-in, we also are going to start with our mental health check-in. So you got to place a number between 0 and 10 on how you feel like your week has been, either your previous week or how you feel in the moment. So we'll start with Olivia. Olivia, how have you been feeling?
My past week has been hey Rodney, hey Coach, hey Matty Ice.
Hey.
Hey.
My week has been great, and I would probably put it at a good 8, 7, 8.
Okay,
Yeah, I know, right? I'll take it.
that's
So
it,
yeah,
right?
that's been good. Yep, 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 yep.
That's good. What you got coming up this week? Do you have some great things coming up this week?
The only thing that I'm thinking that I have this week, well, Mateo's birthday is on the 30th, so we'll be prepping for his.
Ooh,
Yeah, his birthday is at the end of the month. But as far as me, I think I'm going to be catching up on some sleep because all last week I was busy. I had
yes,
a couple of projects that I had to do, and I didn't get as much rest as I should. But again, I'll take it. I'll take that better more than just being still.
yes. I
This week
get
I
it.
plan to be still.
Yes. All right, all right. We're
Oh,
gonna
did you
move right
give your
along.
number?
Oh yes,
Yes,
what's your
Hey.
number? Eight.
8.
Yeah,
All right.
8.
8. That's amazing. All right, we're gonna move right along. Coach, how you been doing? What's your number?
For the last week has been actually pretty good. I had I was on vacation, so I had a couple things that I had to get, you know what I'm saying? It was spring break. So I had a couple things I had to get, you know what I'm saying, kind of taken care of. And I was able to start exercising again heavily. So kind of break the
Okay.
cycle, which was which
Yes.
was pretty good. So I say ended up riding about 85 miles last week. You know what I mean? Which is a
What?
good thing. Got a chance to ride with my crew last week too. Haven't incorporated Matty Ice's walks yet, but I'll do that soon. You know what I mean? And so forth. And then I'm gonna incorporate Rodney's jumping rope, which I know he ain't been jumping rope. You know what I
Stop.
mean?
That's
Pretty
like
soon.
3 years ago. Like
So
3, 4 years ago.
yeah, so man, I would start incorporating all of my fellow, you know what I'm saying, dad podcasters, that all their exercise routines and so forth, you know what I mean? But the family's well, you know what I'm saying? Easter was well, Resurrection Sunday was really good. So I think I'm probably hovering at about 8.5, 9 over the last week or so. A lot of things got accomplished, so that was a good thing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I miss the fam. Tell the fam, hey, hey, Coach Fam.
I
I miss
sure will.
y'all.
And I got to see nephew play a little flag football too. I forgot to say that last week
That's
too.
right. That's
So
right.
yeah.
All right. The Beast One, how was your week? Tell me about what your number is.
Um, my week, I would say right now, I say I'm about hovering at an 8. I'm a little bit tired. I had to work the whole weekend for Easter. But I'm not upset about it. It was good. Things are coming around at my job, and I enjoy working with the people that I work with. My family got to come in and visit me on Sunday. Everybody came through, ate good, and had a good time. So it was a good joint. Just it was a good weekend, just working and getting everything together. I got a lot of projects I want to get accomplished around the house. Um, I kind of feel like I've been working a lot and a lot of my side projects. We got to get ready for that spring, us husbands. Because my wife ain't going out there and mulching nothing. or cut no grass. So
No.
we got to get out there as husbands and get out there and do some side work and get that side work done. So I got a few projects I want to try to get done in the next few weeks, but life has been lifing and just enjoying it. I did go to church on Sunday before work and had a really good message and kind of really did reset me. I really got to make it important to myself to go to church, and even though I'll be tired because I usually work Saturday night, but I gotta, it's really becoming important to me because that reset on Sunday is really helpful. You know what I'm saying? It's really helpful to get my mind right, get my energy back, get my mental in the right place that I needed to be. Old friend, guess who joined me at church? Coach, you won't believe it, man.
Who?
PJ Paul Jemison joined me at church
Okay.
this Sunday. Came through, hung out, came through, and he did beat me there. So I had to give him his credit there. But I've been seeing him a lot at work. We kind of re friendship our friendship, I guess. We hadn't seen each other in a long time, so we've been talking and having a good time and just discussing life and what's life going to coming to and things like that. So everything been great. So I would say, like I said, I'm about at that age just to get some more things going, and work is doing good. Wife is doing good. My kids are doing good. My daughter's getting ready for prom. I'm excited about that and the things that's getting ready to come on. Let me not steal all Vicky's thunder by mentioning everything that we got going on. But us RJ's doing great in Idaho. And like I said, prom's coming up, graduation's coming up. I'm excited about all that, even though my daughter is the love of my life and also the pain in my behind at the same time. So, it is great to have that also. So that's why I'm at. I'm about it. Like I said, I'm about at 8. Everything's good. Life is good. Work is good. And, just ready for the next step. I'm trying to get ready and be ready for the next step that God has for us. What's up, Lori? What's up? I'm not sure who A Ty is, but my man, how y'all doing? And thank you for joining us today on Dad
Me,
Mentality. So
Lori. Hey, Robert, Lori.
there you go,
I guess
baby.
you passing it on to me. All right. So,
Nah,
like Rodney
Matty
said,
Ice here now. You can go
oh
last.
I can go last. All right, Matty Ice, how you doing? What's your number for this week?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Hey, 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 Matty Ice,
Hey, I
for
made
your
it. I made it. I
crypto.
made it.
Yes.
Vicky, I ain't get a chance to speak to Coach or Vicky. I was just getting in the house, was trying to get on camera, y'all. So I made it. Made it home. But glad I made it home
Good,
safe. But
good.
I'm feeling good today. Been moving, been ripping and running since last night, early morning. But my number, I'm probably about an 8.5, man. Been feeling good. Yeah, been
Yes.
feeling pretty good. About just optimistic about things I got going on. My energy is up, you know what I mean? Been getting my walks and my steps in. Man, I probably did about, about 15,000 steps today. You know what I mean? My weight is, I lost a few more pounds. You know what I mean? I know, see, Coach over there
Show
hating,
me
man.
show me the proof.
That's
I
all
want
I'm
to see the
saying.
proof.
I
I
don't know.
want to
You
see
can
the
see.
proof.
Look at that,
I
man.
got my 50. I got my
Look at
15,000 in
clean,
too.
man. You know what I mean? You see, I heard you a little while ago trying to show us up, talk about, oh, I'm gonna go walk and I'm gonna do jumping jacks and I'm gonna do jump rope. I'm riding
Uh-huh.
bikes 230 miles a day. You know what I mean? I went to North Carolina and back. You, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, coach, we see you, we see you. But
Uh,
man, yeah, but all is well though, man. You know what I mean? We had a good weekend. You know what I mean? We did get out and go see some family at church yesterday. They was performing, doing praise and worship. Had a few of our cousin Peyton, you know what I mean? She was recognized at the church and some different stuff. So it was just a good Sunday. I had to go out and take care of a project last night, so I did have to work last night, but that was cool. And sat with the family, ate dinner on Saturday since we couldn't do it on Sunday, but that was fun, man. So all is well. So again, I'm at about an 8.5, man. Still riding high, and still I'm looking forward to what else is in store for 2025, the rest of this month, the rest of this year.
That's amazing. That is
All
so
right.
amazing. Everybody's on like that 8.5 level. I'm also on an 8. It's been a busy week. This week was spring break for the kids, and so everybody was out. Trinity was not feeling good, so she was kind of like laying low, taking care of some assignments that she needed to take care of. But Jonathan, like he was like going, like I was like Uber driver all week, like wherever he wanted to go, hang out with his friends. His friends come over. It was like we were going. We went to the museum. He went skating.
Mhm.
He spent one night with his grandparents. But I've been doing like prom and graduation prep. It's like insane. I can't even believe my daughter is getting ready to graduate. There's a lot of good stuff coming, but there's a lot to plan for because both the kids will be graduating this year. Jonathan will be promoting and Trinity will be graduating. And so for the fifth grade, they have like so many different activities for them to do for their promotion. They're going on the Spirit of Washington. I never went on the Spirit of Washington, but I graduated from going to middle school. That was not a thing. And so just calling on his friends, y'all going, y'all going, y'all going. Okay, we need to get our outfits together and stuff like that. Like for real, like it is serious for them. His little T-shirt came in the mail the other day. He was so excited and everything. It's just been really busy, and then like because this has been like Holy Week, I've been like feeling some type of way. Like my spirit has been like, feeling some type of way, and like I've just been crying like waterworks, just like thinking about the goodness of God and what He did for us in this season and in this moment, just remembering and being grateful and appreciative of the family that I have. Because it could be so different, And Jonathan came up to me yesterday before church, and he was like, "Mom, thank you so much for making this spring break so special for me. You're the greatest mom ever." And I like he just came off the humble. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't mess up my makeup for church. like, and so it's just been just really, really good. And watching Trinity's progression and how hard she's hustling and making sure she got her stuff together, I'm like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
I'm excited for what's coming up in the future. The summertime got some things brewing. I'm going to be working with a coach's wife, and I'm ready to get back to my kids, my after school program with my kids. I miss my kids, my yoga kids.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so it's been really, really great. I am a little tired. Somebody kept me up last night. So I am a little tired. I had to take a nap today because somebody kept me up
Uh-oh.
last night.
What y'all was
Yeah.
doing last night? Oh.
Right.
Uh-oh.
You brought it up. I'll say it out loud. I'll come on here and say what happened. Yeah, nah. Vicky did the setup move. I ain't gonna say nothing. There's certain things you get in the bed with. That's open door. That ain't no. Yeah. Don't. Yeah, I ain't gonna say no more though. We can keep it moving.
Okay. Well, again, this is the Wives Takeover show. I just want to give y'all some, me and O want to give you, our audience some background on how we first met and connected. And it's more like a conversation, just like we do all the time,
Yep.
me and O met at literally one of Rodney's friends. They were getting married. And like as soon as we sat down next to each other, our spirits like connected. We have similar, challenges in life. I have an invisible disorder, as well. And our husbands have been like in the same circle and friendship circle, and like we just connected on so many different levels. My brother had recently passed, and O had experienced some deaths in her family as well. So we had such a strong connection. I just like would go over to her house and just cry in her arms. Like, and we would just sob, like, and just and then encourage each other. And we would have our tea parties. Raise your glass. We would have our tea parties. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Until 4 a.m. talking about everything. Talking about everything.
Yes.
So yeah, we have did you want to add anything to that? Oh,
Um, nope, I think that's just about it. I mean, that's how it happened. No lies, no fluff. That's exactly how it happened. And ever since that wedding, we just kind of just keep finding new things about each other and how much we actually relate and have the same, kind of situation. So it does make it easier to talk to someone who experiences the same thing that you do, speaking on a health level, you know.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, I loved you from the first moment that I met you. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
definitely glad of the sistership we have.
absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to get into some things. The Word of God said that He would give us beauty for ashes.
Mm,
And so we're going to really talk about some different struggles and then overcoming those struggles in our life. Um, First of all, we want to acknowledge that mentality hosts for being so transparent throughout this, entire um, podcast. You all have been so transparent and open to the public to share your innermost thoughts and feelings. And so we just want to, you know, pay homage to you all, to Coach, to Rodney, to Maddie Ice, to all the guests that have been on this platform to
mhm,
really expose yourself and to grow from it.
mhm.
And so that's what me and we come to do here as well. Give you your flowers. You all are amazing. Not a lot of men would do that. Not a lot of people will do that. And so, for you all to create this platform for yourselves and for others to, get their feelings and thoughts off of their chest and off of their minds. And mental health check-ins are so important. You all have started a trend and started, I don't even want a trend, not even a trend, a lifestyle.
Yeah,
And to know that my son has taken, what he has learned from this platform and instill it in the military, that is something huge. So your
Hmm.
impact is so deep. Whether you know it or not, your impact is taking seeds and taking root in people's lives. So,
yeah.
I'm gonna pass it on to you. Did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that you summed it up good. Definitely commend you all because it's may not be easy to share your true opinion or your true feelings about a certain situation or something that's going on, in your own life. Um, but you're not only just talking to your friends, but you're talking to them on a nationwide, anybody can see at any time type of platform. So I think that's very good, very humbling. That they could be let me speak about mine. Let me speak. He a little rough around the edges, you know what I'm saying? But he
Girl, yours, mine too.
he cares and do things for me, with kid gloves. But I think that that's very admirable that they they do that they come on and they share their perspectives openly.
Yeah, they have tackled some really tough topics that have evoked a lot of emotion. And so it required a lot of courage to do so,
Yes.
a lot of courage to do that. And again, the impact that you all make, you may not hear it from everybody or from even your listeners, but know that you have definitely made an impact on your family, upon yourselves, upon your listeners and even in your own lives, we have definitely seen the changes. We have seen the growth that you all have had, and we want to, just go into it,
Yeah.
starting from the bottom, and now we here, y'all. So,
Yeah.
so the struggle is real. Like that's the first thing we're going to talk about. Like the struggle that you all talked about. You very transparent about the struggles y'all encounter. It's no secret that Rodney struggled with overcoming consuming alcohol and other vices that people have had. And so, I first want to thank God, who is able to do beyond what we can ever imagine or think, because there was a time when I didn't think that it was possible for this change to happen. God delivered him from being controlled by the spirit of alcohol addiction and anger, because I feel like anger went hand in hand with it. And just to surrendering to Christ and breaking those generational curses and those generational chains. And he's the true leader of this household that we absolutely needed and that I prayed for, even as a little girl. And so I just am so grateful that this is the transition that has taken place because of this podcast. He is now patient. He is not quick to anger. He is very supportive and he listens to me like with his heart, not just to get me out of the way. He listens with
Mhm.
his heart. Um, he listens to my thoughts and my concerns. And he may not have a response right now, but he will come back and have a response. And so I'm grateful for that. He is um, communication was something that was very tough in our lives. I tried writing letters. I tried sitting down, hey, babe, let's talk. It was just not something that we could get on the same page with. And the communication was so difficult. I would just be like, Lord, I can't talk to him. I can't talk to him. But we kept at it, we kept at it and kept at it. And God has grown that communication to now he's coming to me and he's like, babe, we need to talk about this. We need to communicate about this. And I'm like, oh shoot, what did I do? What happened? What
Mhm.
And so, and also he's like submitting to God's authority. And it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful to see how God can do and God can take a situation that may look devoid, may look dark, and just turn it into his marvelous light and his glory. And it's so beautiful because when I tell you there were some dark days. Oh, there were some dark days,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there were some dark days. And I'm just so grateful that he has become the leader of this household and the spiritual leader. The night before last, he like put his arm on me while I was sleeping and was praying. I was like, "Dang, I'm trying to go to sleep." Like, he's covering me in prayer. He's covering our
Yes.
kids in prayer and like praying real prayers, right? Praying real prayers. And it is so beautiful because it's like, man, that's something that a woman of God always wants her husband to cover her head, and
Mhm.
because God is covering us. It's in order, it's in alignment, right? We
Mhm.
were
Mhm.
so out of order. But to see what God has done, it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have anything to
Um, I agree. I agree. God is doing a new thing, and I'm absolutely grateful for it. That He never took His hands off of my family. Even at times when it didn't feel like He was there or it wasn't going to work out. Just believing that, given the opportunity to share your input on topics about people who look like you
Yeah,
and who look like
yeah,
you and talk like you, to talk on the topics that's related to our community. So
right.
right, so that's and my the mental health check-in is my favorite part for them, because it really just gives a glimpse of how their week was.
Mhm.
And it's therapy for them, I believe.
Yes.
I believe it's therapy.
And it's so taboo, right? Men talking about their mental health is so taboo. I forgot what movie me and Rodney were watching, but they were like, "Oh, you go to a therapist. He was like, he was trying to tell his boys, he was playing basketball, trying to tell his boys that he needs to go to see a therapist, and it was like so taboo. And all
Yeah.
his boys was like, yeah, we all go to therapy, but that's
Yeah.
not something they talk about,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. The platform, the podcast just gives them gives them the openness to talk, because even when I watch the show either live or watch it back, it's how can I put it? Um it's just amazing to see, because
mhm.
although Matt and I have a good communication, and things of that nature, it's almost as if the camera is there. They having these conversations, but it's like they don't realize that the world is there, or they push that out, not
Right,
thinking that
yeah.
somebody is watching them. They having a heart to heart kind of boy kind of, or male kind of conversation. So
Mhm.
I the podcast is very helpful, and I'm definitely grateful for Rodney for creating it and coming up with it. And you'd be surprised, or not be surprised, because we see it happening, how much
Right.
growth happens within a person when you start tuning in and chiming in, and like, oh, I might need to listen to this podcast because they talk about real issues, or they talk
Right.
about real experiences, that
Mhm.
may be the roadmap to somebody else's
Exactly.
breakthrough.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. So my first question literally was, how has the podcast been a positive outlet for you and for Matt, that the audience doesn't see?
Since being on a podcast, I've noticed my husband more open with his feelings. I watched the podcast, like I said, so I sometimes hear him say things that I, as his wife, take note of.
Mhm.
Um, and it's like, it's not like he keeping secrets, because we don't operate like that. We don't do the secrets, but it just gives me a different glimpse into what he is thinking about a particular subject or topic. And believe it or not, we sometimes talk about the episode even after he gets on,
Yeah. Yeah.
or after he gets off. But it's just
Yeah.
like guys just hanging out on a Zoom call.
Right.
They get to release some things. So
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I struggled at first. I did not watch the podcast initially because I was like, I want to see, what's gonna happen because of our struggles that we've had. I was
mhm,
like, I'm not gonna listen to the podcast until I actually see, the growth that is, there that he's talking about. And then and I would test them. I would like purposely test them, like poking the bear, like you said this and you said this. Let's see if it's real, because I've been praying for how long we been married? Almost 25 years. So
yeah,
I've been praying, and and to see that real growth. And I've heard, before that, this was gonna change or something was gonna happen. And, you know, he wasn't fully committed to it. And so he's a human, and so when the podcast initially came out, I really didn't listen to it. He was like, "Vic, you need to listen to this." I was like, "Oh, whatever," And he was like,
mhm,
"Vic, you need to listen to this." I was like, "Oh, whatever." And then my girlfriends started listening to the podcast and was like, "I get to see, and more insight into Rodney and things like that." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna listen to it."
yeah,
And the more I listened to it, it was like, yo, like I would listen to it on my way home from doing the after school program, or I would
mhm,
listen to it at different times when I was in the car, and it would just like it would like clutch my pearls, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's revealing that. Like that is a legitimate struggle that we deal with in our everyday life. And he's
yeah,
disclosing that, like being transparent about that.
yeah, yeah,
And I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like really doing the work to work through it. So I was like, okay, let me tune in every now and then. Let me tune in. And the topics that they are covering are like like I said, they are real topics that evoke real emotions.
Yes.
And if you don't have enough courage to deal with those topics, growth is not going to come. But they were open enough to deal with those topics so that growth can come because they really wanted it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
so my next question is, does Matt or did Matt have similar challenges, maybe alcohol or with another vice, that he is in the process of overcoming or has overcame?
Yes. As he's still a young black man.
Mhm.
So he
Yeah,
still has he has a lot of responsibilities, especially with the household and entrepreneurship and things of that nature. So it was getting kind of overwhelming, and he kind of was turning to alcohol to, I guess, mask that pain or mask what he had to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, they were getting out of hand. He was very stressed
yeah,
about the
yeah,
store and new business ventures and things that needed to happen with Matty Ice, and then me, like, just being a caregiver my to me, you know, um, that's a whole lot to deal with. So I just and to make sure that we keep our same live comfortably. We ain't balling out of control, but we
right,
have a
right,
way that we've been living for decades, right?
right,
So,
exactly.
to have all that on his shoulder and on his plate, it became a lot. And yeah, just so happened had to I had to jump on in there. I had to jump on in there, call time out. Hold on,
Yeah,
time out, time out, time out. We got
yeah,
we got to nip this in the bud. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
think stress, the stress that males have to deal with is overwhelming that women don't quite understand, because they have to literally put on their armor before they walk out the door, right? And put on face for whatever they got to grind. They got to be the man, right? They got to get
yeah,
it done. And for us, like in our gentle states, like I mentioned before, we both have invisible disorders. And so to be our caretaker, they have that in the back of their mind. You're the caretaker for, the provider for the family, making sure bills are paid.
yeah,
If things break down in the house, they gotta think about getting those things fixed. And so there's a
yeah,
lot of pressure on them. And then at work, when people piss them off, they got to keep it together, right? They got to
yeah,
stuff it down in their bodies, and
yeah,
so that stress, to relieve that stress, they dibble and dabble in different things. And, sometimes that can be a hindrance to the family, but, understanding that they're human as well is important. And yeah, the the complexities of being a black man,
mm-hmm.
is a lot. And so I'm thankful for God's grace that we were both able to, call a timeout, call a timeout, and they complied, right?
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Um, so so yeah, so did you have a question that you wanted to ask me?
Yes. Let's see. How did you navigate that time in your life?
It was very dark. It was some bleak days. Like I mentioned before, there were a lot of things that were out of order. And I cried out to God for years. I cried out to him, I prayed, I journaled, I fasted, and I thought about leaving at some point, but I was definitely committed to the relationship. Um, I did everything that I knew to do. Um, I stayed. I was committed to the relationship. I was committed to the marriage, but I made a covenant with God. When I said I do, I not only made a commitment to my husband, but I made a covenant with God. Marriage is not just the words I do, but it's also a God covenant between the people that are involved in it. And
Mhm.
because of that, when the times got hard and, I struggled with, the alcoholism, the anger, the frustration, the sideways comments, the words that were, being
Mhm.
exchanged, the
Mhm.
arguing and things like that. It was that commitment that held me down, that commitment to God. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, that covenant with God that held me down. And I said, okay, God, I made this covenant with you. Um, you will not put anything on me that I cannot bear. And so I kept praying. I kept walking through. I kept trying to, exemplify the Psalms, 21 woman. And I just continued to operate in God. I had to have a calm demeanor. I had to, even when, in the face of us arguing back and forth, when he would be saying sideways comments on me, I would have to go internal and pray. I would pray because I knew it wasn't him as a person that was doing
Mhm.
this. It was the spirit that was on the inside of him that was doing this. And so
Mhm.
when he would be, going and going at me, saying all kinds of stuff, I would be like, Lord, forgive him, for he knows not what he does.
Yeah.
Because he did.
Oh, you sound real innocent in this. Hold on, I'm just saying. Hold on,
No,
don't
I'm
act
just
like you
giving my
don't act like it
perspective.
wasn't. Don't act like it wasn't two ways. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt? My
I'm
bad.
not
Hold on.
saying that it wasn't two ways. I haven't gotten there yet. Chill out. I haven't gotten there yet. And I would pray. I would anoint his pillow. I would anoint his space in his bed. I would anoint the doorknobs on the door when nobody was there. But
Mhm.
I could not judge because just because my stuff didn't look like his stuff, it wasn't,
Yeah.
I couldn't do, there was nothing that I could do but pray because that's what I would want someone to do for me, right? I
Mhm.
would
Mhm.
I began to question my motives and my thoughts and the things that I would say internally because some things weren't right. Things that I did weren't, always right. And
Mhm.
so I had to check myself as I was praying for him. God's conviction would come upon me. When I would pray for him, it would come upon me, right? And so
Mhm.
that's how I continue to pray. I continue to pray and read God's word and intercede for him in the spirit. But there's the scripture, 1 Corinthians 7:14 through 16. It talks about the unbelieving husband will be sanctified through his wife, and the unbelieving wife has to be sanctified through her husband. And I kept holding on to that. And I was like, God, if you say this in your word, at some point, I don't know when it is. He never said when it was going to be, but he
Right.
told me that I needed to keep praying. I needed to keep doing what was right. I needed to check myself, right? I need to have
Mhm.
the proper demeanor. I need to, show love towards him. And I needed to do these things. And so when those things line up, then, he's got to want it. I have to
Yeah.
keep praying. I got to do my job, right?
Yeah.
And let God do his job instead of me
Yeah.
trying to be his savior. And so
Child.
when I took that step back, I had to take that step back and say, God, I submit him to you, right?
Yeah.
I can't do it. I've tried because let me tell you, I tried and that didn't work out. That backfired,
Mhm.
on me.
Mhm.
And so when I relinquished, what was going on in our household to God, he was able to move once he got me out of the way, right?
Mhm.
And so I would fight for my husband. I would fight for my, husband. I would lay my hand on his back, just like he does me now, lay my hand on his back and just pray for him and just fight and cry and for hours, um, you know, praying for him because I knew at some point that God would see him through this.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying? And also like when he started fully submitting to God, when he started fully submitting, my prayer to God didn't change. Now I was like, wait a minute. okay, if God help me to be ready when he fully submitted, right? Because maybe while he was going through, I was still playing, right? I was still playing a little bit. And then
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, God, when he's fully submitted, help the residue of the bitterness and the anger and everything that I went through, not to leave a residue on my heart, because that was the last thing that I wanted. I
Yeah.
didn't want to be angry and mad and bitter when God delivered him, because then I would be also in the wrong. So like I had to like continuously pray that. And then I had to do some work, right? I had to go and seek out counsel. I was calling pastor's wife like every week, like, Lord, like help me, like I need help,
Yeah.
excuse me. And, I would, lean into those who understood. I would, I don't know why this is happening. And thank you, Olivia, for bringing me into IHU. Um, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
IHU, shout out to IHU members at City of Praise, with Dr. and Pastor Peebles. It was
Mhm.
a process. It was a growth process, right? It was serious growth. It was not looking at the other person, it was looking at myself. And once I realized, like literally, I described it as like, when you take a glass of milk, I don't like milk no more. I'm lactose intolerant. And so when you drink a glass of
Almond milk.
milk, I can't do milk. When you drink a glass of milk and you like turn it back over and you put it on the table, you see the milk residue coming off, right? And so when you see that, that's what was happening to me. I didn't want that residue to continue to stay in my glass because
Mhm.
it wasn't clean. And I wanted to be clean.
Mhm.
I didn't want that in my heart. I didn't want that at all. And so I really had to dive into forgiveness. I really had to, and talking to Pastor Peebles, she went through like, you don't have to, it's your choice if you hold on to that. It's
Yeah.
your choice. And I was like, golly, it is my choice. Like it really truly is my choice if I
Mhm.
decide to hold on to the residue, the bitterness, the anger, the frustration, the this, the that. It was totally my choice. Now the ball is in my court. What am I going to do with that? Right? What am I
Yes.
going to do with that? And literally it like hit me like, wash the daggone glass. Like wash the glass. Like you
Yeah.
don't have to keep holding on to that. Just let it go. And ask for forgiveness and forgive him, of everything. And I think that part was so intricate for me, because forgiveness was so intricate for me, because we say, I forgive you, I forgive you. Yeah, yeah, I forgive you. But what does that truly mean? Like
And look
going
like.
in and look like, right? Exactly. Because we can have lip service, but until we forgive with our actions, our heart, our being, it's not forgiveness, it's just lip service. And so I thought about like what Pastor Peoples had to go through during the time when there was a coup, in the church
Right.
for her, like, and she decided to lead with love. No
Yeah.
matter what, she was going to lead with love. She was going to pray for those people who, was trying to, do wrong
Yeah.
against her. And that's what God commanded her to do. And then I thought about it, I was like, Lord, okay, let me think about different aspects of love. And then I thought about Joyce Meyer's testimony, right? Joyce Meyer's
Mhm.
testimony when
Mhm.
her father sexually abused her for like 13 years and her mother knew about it, right? And then they come to the end of their lives and she has to forgive them enough to take care of them and pay
Yeah.
their medical bills. Like, what
Yeah.
in the world type of forgiveness is that? Like,
Mhm.
if she was able to do that, I can do this, right? I,
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
And I would pray, like, Lord, like help me to forgive the spaces and the places of my heart where I don't even know is there. And it was so important to me because I knew that God had more for us. I knew God had more for this family. And it was important to me because I knew if I didn't forgive him, that God wasn't going to forgive me of the bitterness that I held inside.
Yeah.
So I had to forgive him.
Yeah.
And I
All right. I love you, baby. I'm gonna rein it in a little bit. You good, or you gonna be able to?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay, all right. I'll let you finish, but
Hey,
just reel it in. You don't win. You don't win all the way over here somewhere. Let's get it back.
hey, man, you know our wives are definitely emotional beings and creatures, man.
Yeah.
Man. I'm surprised O ain't crying yet. Man.
Man,
I'm trying to tell you, them waterworks
man,
turn
coach.
on.
She about to give her a couple minutes.
I do got a question though, Coach. So, Coach, you been now. We've heard Vicky's opinion, Vicky and O's opinion, watching our changes. You're kind of like you're inside, but you're also outside of. You're not our significant others, this, that, and the other. What have you noticed? Have you noticed these types of the changes, or what our wives are talking about in us? Has things happened with you as far as the podcast and helping you grow or get better in things? How have you? What do you feel about what they said, and has anything happened that affect you? I'm curious. You muted, dog.
I think for you, for if I was to speak on you, I think definitely the podcast has helped you emotionally deal with kind of some of your internal traumas, which of course, which translates directly to your counterpart, your wife. So I think it helped you kind of look at yourself before looking at other sources of why you were making certain decisions. And I think you've grown from that. I mean, in the beginning, I think that you were kind of, all right, I'm gonna do it just to say I'm doing it. But eventually, it kind of hit home that you had to dig a little bit deeper than just talking about it on the podcast. And I think that's what Vicky is speaking to. Like, you know what I mean? In the beginning, she didn't believe you. You know what I mean? And I only think you believed yourself, to be honest with you. So I think that you've grown tremendously from that. As far as Matty Ice, I mean, I don't hang with Matty Ice as much as I hang with you. I ain't know that, you know what I'm saying? I knew he liked tequila. I ain't know he liked tequila that much, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Slapped him around. You know what I mean? When it was when it was time for him to, you know what I'm saying, stop sipping on the tequila. And I always knew that, you know what I'm saying, Matty had a lot of pressure on himself, right? Because he always spoke on it, you know what I'm saying, the entrepreneurship, the all the different hustles and everything, trying to keep things afloat. And because family was always first to him. So I kind of understood, you know what I'm saying? And I remember when Matty had that really rough time. And I think that was probably the same time, that you probably realized it because Matty had
Mm.
come on the show. And
Mm.
it was that one week, Matty was like, man, I ain't feeling this joint this week. Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? And that's when we kind of knew. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? The show was actually helping them. For myself, of course, I've had my difficult moments over the past, you know what I'm saying, 6 months, 8 months. Really difficult moments. So, and definitely the show is kind of what kept me going. People on the show kept me going a lot. You know what I'm saying? There was some
Mhm.
accountability there.
Mhm.
To me, actually, you know what I'm saying, getting back on my feet and getting back into my routine, both physical and the show. So,
Mhm.
for people out there, don't think that, you know what I'm saying, we just do it every Monday night. You know what I mean? People came to my house, got me out of my bed, and made me move. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
as far as the show and just you guys in general, you know what I'm saying, has been a tremendous help to me getting back. I ain't 100% back to talking trash, but I am, you know what I'm saying, working my way
Uh,
back there. You
hey,
know what I mean? You
hey.
know what I'm saying?
We want you
So,
to get 100% back, but
oh, it's
you
coming.
but
It's coming this week,
nah,
dog.
nah,
It's
man.
coming.
You know
It's
what I
coming.
mean?
Once the
Nah.
draft hit this week, because I got a new. I'm gonna have a new team this week. So just
Oh my
know, yes, I
God.
don't know what team is. I don't know what team he's gonna be. It all depends on which one he get drafted to. You know, but it's gonna be a new. It could even be the Cowboys, dog. For all I care.
Oh,
Oh
But
You know what I'm
nah,
saying?
come
nah,
on,
that
Coach.
nah.
Either way, it's gonna be a new team
Come
this
on, all
week. You know
right.
what
Hit
I'm
the mute button, Rodney. Hit the mute
Yeah,
button.
yeah. This is when he goes.
He
He
talking
always goes too
craziness
far.
now, man. He
Oh
was
no,
sitting on
no.
that bike seat too long today.
Yeah. Nah, I just want to kind of talk a little bit about what Vicky has already talked about. Now, baby, I'm gonna let you get back to your show. But
Okay.
you know, I just want to let us chime in real quick about what you've already talked about,
Yeah,
and
definitely. I like
you
to say a
know,
little something too.
yeah. I mean, you know, there was no lies there. You know, I don't have anything. I'm not going to, pick or say this or the other. Because one thing that this show has done, and I do it. I, you know, I can be brutal. You know what I'm saying? Like I can, like I'm not. I kind of feel that I when it comes to petty, I'm pretty good at it. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to being petty, I can be very, very petty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying? So definitely. But I mean, one of the things, and the biggest thing that we're talking about now that I'm enforcing. I've been talking about this stuff at work. I talk about it all the time. And I was like, the greatest thing I always realized is that there's always that split second where you make the decision.
Mm-hmm.
You always make the choice. There's never a time that anything in your life that you did not make that choice. And I have to take accountability for that choice that I made. You know what I'm saying? Just like I can make the choice to be petty, I can also make that choice not to be petty. I can also, just like I made that choice to say brutal things to you, I can also make that choice to love and encourage you. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about that choice. So you can't sit here, the biggest thing that I'm trying to implement now, especially now in my life, is that I can't sit here and say that anybody made me do anything. You know what I'm saying? Or any situation made me do anything. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I made there's always that split decision where I made the decision. There's always that split second, no matter how quickly something happens, you still think. And a lot of times people make that decision premeditated.
Yeah.
Like you say to yourself, like, oh, the next time he say that to me, I'm going to do this. I'm
Mhm.
going
Mhm.
to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's one of the biggest things that I'm working on now. But throughout the show, I've definitely tried to work on things, and people have called me out. You know what I'm saying? I definitely say Coach has called me out.
Yes.
Matt has
Thank
called me
you.
out too.
Thank you. Thank you
And
guys. Thank you guys for calling him out. I appreciate that. Brotherhood is really important. Accountability is really important. You guys are real brothers, and I appreciate that for him. And he is the same way, for y'all, and I'm grateful for y'all.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, and but that accountability, I never mentioned that to Coach in you brought up something I never mentioned to Coach and Matt. I don't think I ever told him that my son brought the mental health check-in to the military, to his when he was going
It's
through basic
squadron.
training. When he
Mhm.
was going through basic training, he would do mental health check-ins with the people around him.
Mm.
And when he told me that, it really hit me in my heart. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, there's other things that has hit me in my heart. As a matter of fact, this week I went to my job's it's a food show or whatever. And a gentleman came up to me. His name is Mike, and he's probably listening right now. But just the moment of him having a conversation and he would be the actual opposite person I would have ever thought listened to my show. You know what I'm saying? And I would have never guessed it, but just the moment, just talking with him really helped me. You know what I'm saying? Really let me know. It really gave me that what's the word I'm looking for? That clarity or that that know that, you know what, I am doing something that is
Aha
helping.
moment. That
Yeah,
aha
yeah,
moment.
yeah. If I help one person, you know, I really do this show for me. But if I help one person in the moment of helping myself, then I've accomplished what God has put me out here to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Even though I'm sure I've helped more than just one person, but you know, it's still when you meet that person and he has that conversation with me, and it was very genuine. And I could and it really like helped. And I mean, you know, and that is why, you know, I keep on encouraging this. And even Maddie Ice, sometimes because sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes when Maddie Ice be like, nah, we need to do a mental health check-in, dog. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Maddie Ice always make sure that's going on. Even I remember one show, I think I forgot. And Matt was like, oh nah, we gotta do that joint at the end or something. Let's get it going. So, you know,
Nah,
it
I'm
is
telling you,
important.
man, it's
But
important. This show, like, I'm glad you invited me to be a part of the show because it's been days, like, honestly, like, where I didn't feel like doing the show because I was going through something, but I'd be like, nah. And I did it because I was like, I made a commitment to Rodney, you know what I mean? But then once I got on the show, I felt better. And I was glad that I did get on the show. So that's why I probably missed one episode and you know what I mean? And that was out of my control. But other than that, no, I make sure I'm here, you know what I mean? Because it helps. You just never know what you're going through, you know what I mean? Just talking. Because sometimes, you know what I mean? Like I'm moving and I might not say anything. I might not tell my wife what I'm feeling or going through. You know what I mean? I got other friends, but I may not speak with them about exactly what I'm going through either. You know what I mean? But so I kind
Yeah.
of be in my own world sometimes, and then getting in here, you know what I mean, once a week allows me to, you know what I mean, just think about how am I feeling. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Like, how am I feeling? Like, you got to be aware of what's going on with you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get caught in that cycle. And if you're not aware and asking yourself, what am I thinking about? How am I feeling? What am I doing? And it just give me that reminder, like, hold up, man, like you tripping. You got a lot to be thankful for. You got a lot to be grateful
Right.
for. You focusing
Mm-hmm.
in on this situation. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean. So that's kind of what the show helped me with. You know what I mean. So I'm definitely thankful for that, man. I appreciate you.
okay. All right. Well, I just want to give a quick acknowledge. You know, Lori said was up. Beverly Brown is hanging out with us. Auntie Brown is out
I
there
see
watching them
you.
and hanging out as well. So I'm glad. These people. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and all that good stuff too for more stuff. So anyway, but I guess let me go back to wife mentality. I mean, good. Now, here we go. Here we go.
Okay. All right. So, describe the physical and emotional, as well as the spiritual changes that have occurred since Matty Ice has been, growth in his growth process and giving up his vice, his alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
or slowing
What's the
down. Slowing
what's the
down.
what's the question?
Describe his physical, emotional, and spiritual
Okay.
change that has occurred.
Okay. So emotionally, he's stronger in speaking his truth.
Mhm.
Like once again, not being embarrassed, especially not with me, but his strength has been speaking his truth. Physically, the spring of his step is back in
All right
action,
now.
right?
All right.
Yeah, back
Go
in step. He's back in his multimedia field, which he loves, and it comes second nature to him. And then spiritually, I'm in total awe of his spiritual growth. Um, for the last 2 months or so, we've been in the church building every Sunday.
What? Oh my
Right,
gosh, that
right,
is amazing.
right. He no longer lags in the parking lot waiting for praise and worship to get finished before he comes in. That's a huge, huge, change,
Yeah, yeah.
um, because now because now he is almost like he comes right in after he park. He stands and claps during praise and worship, or he'll clap for something that hits home for him when Bishop is giving his message. Those are all big things. He anticipates Sundays now, as far as like going to church. And then even ask me if I'm logged on for Bible study. So it's just like it's a whole lot of goodness coming on. He asked me if I'm logged in for Bible study. He heads the household prayer with intentional affirmations and everything, so we can we do it together. And he said grace before, like he used to say grace, before every meal, but now when he prays, and I mean prays good.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
ain't
What kind of prayer was
nothing.
it before? What kind of prayer was it before?
It was just short and a little maybe.
Hey, praise a prayer. Come on now.
Wait a minute. We're trying to
God is
get the
grace and
difference.
God is good. That's all. It's good.
I'm
Let's go.
Everything
Thank you
before our
for the
food.
food.
We
Yeah.
bow our heads. We all are fed. Give us,
Give his
Lord, our
Lord
daily
this
bread.
daily bread. Amen.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
a great
different.
prayer.
It's a different prayer now. It's and I welcome I was
It
satisfied
ain't
with
one of
the
the,
other
it
one,
ain't
but
one of them long joints when everybody hungry, is it?
no,
You know
but
what
it's
Food
no,
getting
it's not long
cold.
like that. It's just
Passing the collection plate.
Right.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's not long like that.
Like, come on, Batty.
it
It's
ain't
just
long, man. It's just what I mean. I say a few more words, man, and got some little emotion behind it and telling what I'm grateful
Yeah.
for, man. That
You
I'm
got
Oh.
grateful for.
That's
affirmations in
not
your
bad.
prayer now? Hold on. You got affirmations in your prayer now?
Yeah, I know. Come on, man.
Thank you.
Don't do that about
Thank
my
you,
prayer,
man.
man.
I appreciate you, bruh.
You
I'm
know what I
proud.
mean?
Hey, Matt, I'm proud of you. All jokes aside, I'm proud of
Yeah,
you today.
there you go. I'm sorry.
yeah.
All right. Back to the wife show. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's saying
My
your
bad.
prayers too.
Yeah. Hey,
Go ahead.
man, don't
Oh,
do that. Ronnie, don't get jealous, man. Get your prayer game up, baby. Get your
Oh,
prayer
that's
game up.
right.
I
That's
prayer
learned
right.
from
game on
you.
one,
I,
son.
I
My
take.
prayer game
I'm
on
about to
one.
say because when you tell me about how you pray, I was like, I told you I had. I was like, I don't do that. When you talk about how you speak, like I ain't gonna fake. Like I heard what you say. You know what I mean? Because I know the type of guy you are. So when you told me how you speak with God and stuff like that, I'm like, man, you know what I mean? Because you a real dude. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? So I ain't know. I know we joking and everything, but on some realness, you know what I mean? When you let me know how you speak with God, man, like you got your relationship.
Yeah.
I you know what I mean? I heard that, you know what I mean?
Good
I
stuff.
got you. I'm sorry,
That's
bro.
what's
Nah,
up.
we messing with you though. It's all good. We
Nah,
go. Let him get back to the show, man. Let him get back
But
to
go
this
ahead.
show.
Oh, go
We go.
ahead.
Oh, but this show don't last. Y'all got a hard 20 minutes. We need to get to the real,
What's
and we're
this
gonna do
20
the
minutes?
real. But nah, I ain't
Okay, go
messing
ahead.
y'all. We ain't turning this into no 4-hour soap opera.
No, it's not. We just talking.
I
We
got
just
Nah,
having
y'all.
you
I
know
talking.
they,
got
they
nah.
think it's they think it's tea time, bro. You know what I
Man,
mean?
It
They be
is.
on this
Yes,
joint.
Man,
We
it
be on here
as
at
is.
four
long
in
as
the
you
It
don't,
morning,
hey,
cuz.
Matt, as long as you don't do the closing prayer, we good. You know what I mean?
that's all. I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes because we do need to get to the reels. We got some reels to show and stuff like that. And plus, at this time, we kind of gave y'all the serious moment. It's time for us to jump in and have some fun with y'all as well too. So But go
well,
ahead,
we
go back
got
to
that.
Maddie. Go ahead back to Maddie's
Go
prayer so
ahead.
Vicky can answer her question, and then we can.
Vicky ain't done. She like, hold up, like
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. That's the problem. She sat here and didn't watch my podcast for like the first 2 years, and now she want to jump on here like this hers and everything. Like, look what I did.
It's
Look at me.
ours. We are one. It's
hey,
ours.
Yeah.
was
Yes.
ours is ours
Girl.
and was hers is her. And you know how it go,
So
baby. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Hey,
what's hers is hers, and what's mine is ours, or whatever. How it goes,
hey,
it's
we
hers
on
too,
there.
or something like that. But anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah,
babe. I'm sorry.
I was just just the way that he prays now. I should not be thinking what I'm thinking when he get finished praying. It'd be so good.
Girl. You too. You too.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
because
yes,
it's just different. There's an anointing that happens, and it just be like,
yes.
ooh. So at the end of prayer, because we hold hands when we pray, and at the end of prayer,
He'll be rubbing
he
his
kisses
head.
my hands. No, he kisses my hand, and it's just like, wow, dude, like
Yeah.
something else. Look at Rodney. Rodney, cut it out, Rodney.
Uh, but for real, after the prayer, it's like, okay, let's get in between them sheets, right? Right?
Yes,
It's
Wait till
nothing
next
more
week.
sexier
Wait
than a
till next
man who
week.
covers you.
yes, yes,
Wait
yes,
until
yes,
next week. I
Yeah, you
can't
yes.
can't
wait
tell
until
these
next
jokers
week.
this, man. You know, man. Don't be hating on what I do, man. You know, man. Y'all, hey, this is what I do, man. You know,
Wait
man.
till
This
next
is what
week.
I
Oh
do.
man, I like to anoint my wife, and what we about to do, Lord. I just want to let you know, thank you, God is good
That's
all the
right.
time.
Wait
So
till
as
next
far as
week.
like,
I ain't gonna say nothing this week, but you just wait till next week.
so like kingdom culture, like I know that we were talking to me and you was talking about like kingdom culture, and it's so important for wives to speak life into their husbands, so that they can cover us, right? And
Mhm,
we jump in any, this is conversation just like we had the other
mhm,
night with the phone.
mhm.
So like our tone of voice, the delivery that we have,
Very
and
important.
it's very important. It just allows them to not feel belittled and like we're a team, right?
Yeah,
And
yes.
even like how they said, don't argue. Married couples, even if y'all disagree in front of other people, we agree in front of other people, and behind doors, closed doors, we could talk about it, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
And
I
like you
was. I
said, you
was.
were. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. You go
No, no, no.
ahead.
I was tossing it to you.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly what I was just going to say. I was going to say, we've been their friend, their right hand man, vice presidents, assistant coach. You know what I'm saying? Like the coach,
Yes, yes.
captain, the counselor, and then as a queen, we see it on shows and movies all the time. She gives him counsel. They
Mhm.
go and take a little side step, and
Yeah,
she'll never embarrass him by calling him out in front of the whole court. You know what I mean? So
right.
that tone and that delivery um should always be like that. That's how the queen is, and we are there just to we're there to back them up every time.
Mhm.
Exactly. Back them up every
Yes.
time. So I would never disrespect and go against him, especially in public. Like, I think
Yeah.
we've been doing it for a long time, and I think that's ultimately what also works for us is that, believe it or not, we don't argue.
Mhm.
I say what I have to
Amazing.
say, and he
Mhm.
just he says what he has to say, but
Mhm.
it's the communication, because if the lines of
Yeah.
communications are all ruffled and muffed up and everything, then it's going to be frustrating, because
Mhm.
you feel like you can't talk to that person,
Yeah.
when something is going on. So yeah, I all about the kingdom
That's
culture,
right.
you know,
That's right. And
being
then our
very,
kids
very
are looking at us, right, to see
right.
how their kingdom culture should be, and
Mm,
and that legacy is then going to pass on to them. So
yes.
how we interact with each other is then going to pass down to our children and how they act with their partner. Um,
Yes.
and it just also shows the leadership, great leadership, right?
Oh yeah.
And that we're operating in God's order. And
Yes.
that's so important, operating in God's order. When it's out of order, things are really messy. But when it's aligned in God's order,
Yeah.
that's when those blessings be coming through, right? The
Yeah.
blessings. Yes, and it's not just physical blessings. It's having joy, waking up in
Yes.
the morning, happy to be with this person, laughing and having a great time with this person, eating chicken,
Hmm. Hmm.
taking somebody's food and he's making yours, you sharing snacks in the bed. It's good, it is
Yes.
so good. And so it's just, and also the importance of community. We touched on it before. This is our
Hmm.
community,
Yeah.
right? This is our community. And as we begin to continue to, grow, we grow together. Our kids growing up together, families, when we
Yes.
experience something, literally, we come to y'all and we talk to y'all about it, and y'all experience it too,
Mhm,
in some type of way, fashion or form.
mhm,
Y'all keep us, we pray for y'all pray for us. And so
mhm,
having community is so important. And I'm just grateful for this podcast.
mhm.
I'm grateful for this podcast. Y'all don't see me quite often, y'all don't see me a lot, but I thought it was quite time to give dad mentality their flowers. It
Yes.
was time. It was time. They deserve them. And I thank Dad Mentality for allowing us to take over, to really be able to talk about some things that maybe, the audience does not get to see.
Yeah.
Um, well, I do. Do you want to play those clips, babe? Or babe, you want to
Yeah,
play
yeah.
those clips? Or do you want me to do my affirmations?
Oh, nah, I'll play the clips. Yes, 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 my love. I'm gonna pull them up as fast as possible. Give me 1 second here. It's been a
Okay.
minute. So, nah, I'm messing with you. I'm about to pull it up
Uh,
for you
These are
right
clips that
now.
have been on social media. We've seen this. Me and O have looked at them, and they are so amazing. You may or may not have seen them, depending on what your algorithm is. But let's take a watch.
All right, and
Stand 10 toes down to tell you straight up, if you are a man of God and you want God to exponentially bless your life, cover your family at another level and watch God bless your life at another level. Because the danger of not treating your wife well, the Bible says if you have aught with your wife, don't even pray, because your prayers are attached to the ceiling. They're not making it to heaven. So I'm going to tell you straight up, if you're a man of God in the camp and you want God to bless you, take care of your wife. Malachi says the most dangerous thing is for you to send your wife to the altar crying, because God said at that point, I will cut you off.
there you
Yes,
go. So,
yes.
Vicky, you want to start first? You want me to take over control? Or you still got control. You tell who you want to comment on that video first.
Yeah, you can go ahead and comment on that.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, I do. Yeah, well, look, I believe in protecting and in covering you. I don't think in our relationship, me protecting you was something that was an issue ever in our relationship. So I definitely believe in protecting you, covering you, and I do believe in that. Even though you did say some tough things for me to swallow during this episode. And it kind of made me feel a little bit like I was like, all right, well, now I kind of know how she feels when you watch some of the episodes and I bring things or have conversations that sometimes you're just not ready for. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta get ready quickly. But you know, throughout our relationships, I can honestly say I wasn't a perfect husband, but I don't feel that I was a bad husband to you. I just feel that there was always room for improvement. Um, and but being in that improvement, even now, I definitely feel that I am a greater person for it. And your wife is the extension of yourself. Like you are my better half. I'm not afraid to say it. You know what I'm saying? I love you with all my heart. And I think that there's a lot of things that you are the perfect yin to my yang. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
therefore you definitely do bring out the things that you bring out the things in me that I am weak in, and you are great at the things that I am weak in, just like I feel that I compliment you on the things that you may be weak in. And so I do believe that taking care of your wife and not having, your wife not being everything that you can be is extremely important in the whole circle that it takes to get closer to God. Because you can't really get closer to God, you're not taking care of the other half of you. And God blessed you with a beautiful wife. I've been thankful that I have been blessed with a gorgeous wife that I love every day and love everything about her. So, except for her attitude sometimes, but
I'm sorry, what was
everything
that?
else. I was saying gorgeous wife. I was stuck on that gorgeous wife, and thank God for all the blessings that He's given me. So there you go. That's what I got out of it. I don't even know if that answered the question, but we're gonna go ahead and stick with that.
Oh, how do you feel about the clip that was shown?
I think that's very true. And Bishop always says that your wife is your report card. And yeah, he always says your wife is your report card. Like just like he said that your wife is a reflection of you. And I can definitely give my husband an A+ on his report card because the way he takes care of me is man, he does something every day to make me feel like I love him even more. When I thought that I couldn't love him anymore, he does or says something else that be like,
That's your
so
forever
sweet.
boyfriend. I remember you say
My
that.
forever boyfriend.
Now let's check the AI. Let's make sure Matt ain't go over there and put AIO up.
Wait till next week. Next week is
Ain't no
coming.
AI, man. It be live and direct.
Wait till next week.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, I
Her
think that's
knight
very
in
true.
shining armor.
Yes,
That's
he is.
right. That's
Yes,
right.
he is.
Right.
So that's how I feel about it. I feel like he has it. I mean, and then just the spiritual growth, just
Yes.
right,
Yes.
just amped it up
Mm-hmm.
even more. So I definitely believe that that's true.
I can't wait for the prayer tonight. That thing gonna be big. Watch.
Ah,
He gonna be talking in tongues. Watch. The Shyamalan. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go
that's
ahead.
how I feel about it. Like
All right.
That's cool.
they
Matt, how
have
about you? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did you have some more to
no,
add?
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. Matt, how do you feel about the clip?
Oh no, I agree with what he's saying. You know what I mean? And we definitely, you know what I mean, because I believe it's on both sides. You know what I mean? Though your wife is a reflection of you, and then the same thing. You know what I mean? Your the husband is a reflection of his wife. You know what I mean? Like we go hand in hand. You know what I mean? It's a partnership, and it's a team. You know what I mean? So you definitely want to, you know what I mean, go back to the old cliche, happy wife, happy life. You always want to make sure your wife is good. You know what I
Oh.
mean? Like, you know what I mean? But some people take that and it's in a negative context. You know, that don't
Yeah.
mean just do anything, whatever. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? You want to take care of one another. You know what I mean? She help take care of your needs, you know what I mean, and in certain ways, and you do the same thing for her. You know what I mean? You protect her, do what you need to do, you know what I mean, and make sure everything good. And that's what, you know what I mean, I believe all of us do. You know what I mean? We laugh and joke about it, but at the end of the day, uh you want to be viewed that you taking care of your household, you know what I mean, and taking care of your
Right.
family. You know what I mean? You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, so we do what we need to do. So I definitely um agree with that. And none of us are perfect. You know what I mean, I appreciate what my wife is saying, you know what I mean, about me. But she know, you know what I mean, I'm hard on myself, you know what I mean. Sometimes I feel like, because I know I'm not perfect, I feel like I could be doing a better job or could be doing more in certain areas, you know what I mean? But that's stuff that's my report card on myself, you know what I mean? And I'm thankful and grateful, you know what I mean, that I have a, you know what I mean, a supportive wife that always, you know what I mean, sees the good in me, you know what I mean? Because I'm damn sure not perfect, you know what I mean? But and she sees the best in me, you know what I mean, at all times. And so when I'm not,
She
you know what I mean,
saw the best in me.
the
Sorry.
other sides of it, man, you know what I mean, she see it too, but she at that is she don't point it out at that time, you know what I mean? Like she don't break me down, you know what I mean? She builds me up, you know what I mean? So she see where I
Okay.
may be lacking, and then she, you know what I mean, like, all right, that's where we need to work on it, you know what I mean? But she know overall she got a good dude here, you know what I mean, who do whatever for. You know what I mean? So don't focus on my weaknesses. You know what I mean?
Right.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the like we know they there because we all got weaknesses. You know what I mean? Ain't none of us perfect. You know what I mean? So you don't want your woman to focus on your weaknesses like they don't have them. You know what I mean? We all supposed to be sharpening one another, uplifting one another. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We got a thing around here. We a team. You know what I mean? Coach should know that. You know what I mean? It's a team. It's a team effort. You know what I mean? My kids, like if you under this roof right here, you gotta be part of the team. We got, you know what I mean? It take all of us to try to get where we try and go. So if you ain't, you know what I mean? So that's just my viewpoint on. I might went a little off subject, but that's kind of, you know what I mean, what I'm grateful for, because I know, you know what I mean, I still got work to do. I try to do my best, you know what I mean, to take care, but I'm by no means, you know what I mean, perfect, and you know what I mean, anyway, you know what I mean. So, but I'm grateful for my wife to say all these kind words. I don't care what Coach say, what Beats One say. I'm gonna come on this joint with some knight in shining armor, with my Maximus Gladiator shit on one day, and be like, yeah, I'm gonna have the whole outfit on. I don't care, Coach. You can make all the faces you want, Coach.
I ain't saying that.
Yeah, all the faces you want.
I ain't saying that. Next week, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna come on here with a sword, whole
you
shield,
might want to come full body armor. Yeah,
full body armor, cuz.
I love it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is this not why you are here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There you go. Sorry.
Yes. And Coach, what about you? What about you? I'm gonna talk to you. What do you think about that clip that was shown?
Man, I totally agree. I mean, I think a lot of people got to understand that the Bible clearly states that the husband should love his wife, right, with everything. It doesn't even state that the wife has to love the husband. It just says the wife has to honor the husband, is what it says. So you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that you know what I'm saying, the husband is tasked by the Lord to love his wife, right? And you know what I'm saying? If you got a wife that's crying at the altar, she obviously doesn't feel like she's loved. So I think that is key. That you know what I'm saying, ensuring that your wife's needs are met is the key to creating happiness for God in marriage, right? So in the same manner, you know what I'm saying, it's also key for a wife to honor their husband. You know what I mean? So I agree with the clip. I definitely think, you know what I'm saying, is you know what I'm saying, if you want your family to be successful, you know what I'm saying, you need to cover your wife. It's just what it is.
There you go. All right, Rodney, you want to pull up the other clip?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry for locking on my job.
No problem. I forgive you.
I got you. I was doing something else. See me, or I'm all over somewhere else. Hold on, I got you though. Let's see. Share and mic on and
men a capacity and a responsibility that women do not have, and we have to be honest about it. We can say he's not a man, he doesn't know how to lead, he doesn't whatever. There's still a capacity inside of him that God did not give us as women. And one of the biggest examples that I can give of that, imagine it's raining and you're in New York City. And if you've ever been to New York City or in France and it starts raining and people start selling umbrellas on the street, those $5, $10 umbrellas, they're not worth much, but they get the job done until you get home. Imagine you have that man. You have the man that gets the job done, isn't anything special, but he gets the job done. That man, no matter how little you view him, is made to handle the rain. You were not made to handle the rain, but you were made to hold up that which can handle the rain. If you didn't have that umbrella, you would come back home smelling like what poured on you. When a man comes back in as that umbrella, he gets dried quickly, water repellent, it falls off of him, and no matter how equipped you thought he still was built for the rain. The difference also, some of you want that Neiman Marcus umbrella. Some of you want the wood handle. Those things are heavy. And if God gave you a man like that, then you have to be the woman that can hold up that man. Because an umbrella that is not used, it can be for the rain, for the sun. It shields, it provides shade, it allows what's under it not to be touched. We are the vessel, not weaker. We are the vessel that was meant to let the one that God gave us be held up and used for what he was made. So now, as a wife, I want to say, I don't want to get wet. I don't want to sunburn. My skin's not built for that. So instead, I'm going to let the man be who he was meant to be. And if God gave me, which he did, my man's about as heavy as this table. That means God made me capable of holding him up. If my man is not doing what he was made to do, it's because I, as his wife, am not holding him up. God has given me.
There you go.
Yes, yes. Wow, wow, wow. All right. So I'm gonna toss this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go backwards. Coach, what do you
Nah,
think about
man.
that?
Yeah, man. Definitely agree. I think oftentimes people think that when the Bible is talking about the man leading the family, they believe that there's no involvement of the wife.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Yeah.
just in her analogy alone, the wife is almost more important
Hmm.
than the actual leading. She's as important to leading the family. The man is there for protection from everything in her way,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. But
and
Any
that
other
and
comments?
that's what I think society has kind of spun to especially minority families and women. They make it seem like the male is not needed to be successful,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
But
Right.
and for whatever your definition of success is biblically, they are there for a reason.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the thing about it is that the wife pushes that reasoning.
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, that was
Marias?
deep right there. That was deep right there. I like it was a lot of a lot. She said a lot in that clip right there, but I would say I agree with most of it. But I'm gonna say it's a joint effort because like an umbrella, you use an umbrella, but the umbrella does need to be held up by somebody. So if the umbrella isn't held up and it's just laying on the ground flat, it's not doing its job. It can get blown away in the wind, it can fill up with water. So both people need to be doing their part. You know what I mean? The
Mhm.
umbrella needs to be heavy and sturdy to put up with it, and it needs to be somebody strong enough to withstand maybe what's going on at that time, whether it's a
There
windy
you
day,
go.
you know what I mean, light
There you
rain.
go.
So it's still a joint effort. The umbrella can't operate on its own. Umbrella blow away in the wind by itself. You know what I
It needs
mean?
to
The same
operate.
thing, exactly. Same thing with the
Mhm.
person. If the umbrella isn't there, they're gonna get wet. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to deal with all the elements that's coming toward them. You know what I mean? Whether that's the wind, the rain, the sun, or whatever. So it takes both parties. That's kind of what I took from it. You know what I mean? It's still a joint effort that both the wife and the husband, you know what I mean, need to both be willing to carry their side of it.
Absolutely. How about you, O?
I totally agree with that video. I believe that if you let me see, if you want that wooden handle, you have to be prepared and equipped for it because, like you said, it's heavy, and the heavier the umbrella, the more sturdy of a hold that you have to have on it. And that's I believe what we do for them. And she's basically just saying that he gotta when he come home from those elements, you got to do, she need to do to hold that umbrella up. And I think there's a lot of times that doesn't happen because there's so much going on. There's no foundation or expectations of what it takes to make the relationship work, or for us to feel like the husband is doing what it's supposed to be doing and shielding us from the rain, snow, and what have you. So yeah, I definitely agree with that video. I definitely agree.
Yes. Right.
I got a name in Marcus. So.
Ronnie, how about you?
We were doing so good, though. I'm sorry.
We was like, we
doing so
really
good.
was.
She made her own point that at the end she had to throw in a little. Anyway, but I mean, all right. So here's my point about the thing that I'm gonna give you the real quick thing that I didn't like, and the thing that, but I really want to evolve it to what I really think she was trying to say. Because I hate the fact that she said there's $10 and then there's Neiman Marcus men. I don't believe in that. I believe that your man is the same equipment for the storm, but the heavier the storm, the more strong you need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I took from it.
Yeah, even with the umbrella, there still can be user error. You know what I'm saying? Because the storm is coming at you, and if you turn this way, the umbrella's going to flop that way. It's not going to protect you. It's not going to do this. It still can be user error. So the thing about it is that your husband is going to be strong enough to hold the storm as long as you're willing to hold him up. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's the $10 umbrella, all that kind of stuff kind of lost.
Yeah.
But
nah, I get you. But that's what she was saying. It takes both. That's why I say it's both parties. She got to be able to hold you up, because the umbrella by itself gonna blow in the wind, and then she got to use the umbrella. She can have an umbrella and don't even open them up. Don't even open the umbrella up.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to get to, because but I mean, I do agree with Coach. Society is trying to tell women, or tell not even women, but now I believe they're telling men that they don't need women. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need that person to hold you up. You don't need this. I believe that story definitely, like in the 70s, was told to Black women that you don't need a man. If you want support by the government, we'll support you.
You can't have a man if you want.
Have a man, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And but I believe now, when we watch these shows and things that are coming on, The Bachelor, even TikTok, it's you can get you don't have to deal with a woman, because another one will come right around the corner. All you got to do is swipe right. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is do this. All you got to do is do that. And if you don't like that popping balloon thing, it's just about how quickly you can find something wrong with that person. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the first one to pop. As soon as you see him, I don't like your shoes. Pow. You know what I'm saying?
And man, social media crazy, man. Like, that joint is wild right there. Like that popping balloon joint. You know what I mean?
Where's the tolerance? Where's the grace? Where's the mercy? Where's the adjustment? Getting to know each other.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's targeted towards our culture.
We ain't got enough time to get into that.
I'm not trying to get on, but I got.
No, I'm just saying, like, because like you said, it's targeted towards the culture. It's targeted to put a certain mindset in certain people's mind. You know what I mean? Like that, for how they think and view people. Like, that's.
I mean, me and my wife been married 25 years. If you didn't learn anything from this podcast today, is that a marriage is work. You know what I'm saying? It is not perfection. People can look at our relationship for the last 25 years from the outside in and think that we're great, like we're wonderful. Oh, look, they're great parents. They're raising these great kids, and they're always together. They've never seen us threatened of divorce or separated or whatever the case may be. But guess what? That was work. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Vicky had to carry a 400-pound umbrella. You know what I'm saying? Like that joke was hard to put over her head.
Nah,
And
fact.
then sit there and then sometimes it's easy. You look at that brother, right? Hell no, I just take the reign. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
it's work. It's work. It's compromise and growth
Yeah.
because it's like we're not the same people who we were when we first got together, because there were times like when when we first got together, we've been together for so long, but she was, you know, I'm rough around the edges. So when I used to say or do certain things, she would take them so personal that she would just break down and cry, you know what I mean, and be upset. I'm like, that babe, like what, like, you know what I mean? But then as we grew, she, you know what I mean? I'm not saying her skin toughened up like I was harsh to her, but you know what I mean? Something like I moved a certain type of way, you know what I mean? That she was like, she understood it, you know what I mean? Like, and over the years, we grew, you know what I'm saying? And then as I matured, you know what I mean, and not, you know what I mean, it was just a growth between both of us where I had to learn certain things, and then as we got older, then as she, you know what I mean, dealt with the situation, you know what I mean, her condition, you know what I mean, I've always, you know, treated her with a certain type of, you know what I mean, making sure she happy. But then that came to a whole nother level, you know what I mean, once she went through her situation that she's dealing with. But it was growth though, man. I'm trying to tell you, you know what I mean. It was constant growth, and if you're not growing, man, you die. You know what I mean. Like, it's no way any of us would still be in our merges. You know what I mean. Like, I know Coach had expressed like how we, like, all of us had to grow and learn our wives, and our wives have to learn us. You know what I mean? But I don't think people are built. I ain't gonna say they're not built for that. I think just the way, you know what I mean, how you talking about it, people think shit gonna be perfect. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nah, you gonna have some growing pains. You're gonna have to deal with some things. You know what I mean? And you can't allow what the outside world is thinking to influence what's going on in your household.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yes.
think that's one of the biggest things right there. People act like they they act like their house is on social media, or sometimes they do put all their
Right.
business out there on social media. So when shit do come, you can't take it. You know what I mean? So what's right for one household may not be right and for another household. Like, I respect everything Rodney Coach do, but that's their household. What we do over here, like, we got certain things that we have, you know what I mean, in common, but other things, you know, what goes on. What's that? Oh, your grandmother, what goes on in our household goes like,
stay
I
in
don't
our
know what
house.
they
Stay in
do
the
over
house.
Yeah.
here, but what we do here, that's what we
Mhm.
do here. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And that's how we, you know what I mean, that's how we've grown and maneuvered throughout the years. You know what I mean? It ain't perfect. You know what I mean? Man, oh, got a joint like what we say, you know what I mean, how we live, you know what I mean? They might
Y'all
not
got a
they might
handshake.
can't live
Y'all got
like
a
this. You
handshake.
know what I'm saying? Like, people just don't know what go on behind your closed doors. You know what I mean? Like, hey, nah, this is how we do it over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, you're right. I second that motion. You're right.
All right,
Yep.
well, you know.
All right. All right. All right. So we've taken a
No, I
long
ain't get to
time.
finish my story. Matt stole
Oh,
my
you still
thunder.
got
I was
more
still, yeah, I had some stuff, there's more
oh,
stuff to say, but it's all good. We go ahead and
nah,
end
man,
it
you know,
now.
man,
Go ahead
they
now,
they
you
they
know.
got to talk, man. You know, man, they've been talking
You
all night.
know,
Go
I
ahead,
was
Rodney.
saying,
What
This
you
is
you
the
gonna
know,
say?
women
because I
takeover
wanted, I
show. I
wanted to get to
mean,
the other part about, the other part she ain't say is, I wanted to make sure that we do discuss the user error part too, because
oh, is
there's
that
some people.
right? No. Okay, let's move on. Moving
No, that's
on.
what we go. Hold on, let me
Moving
finish.
on.
Hey, see,
They gonna love you. It's fine.
sometimes because that umbrella can be heavy sometimes, but you still need it for your protection. So you gotta make sure that you take it and use it. But anyway, to go back to what I was saying, I did agree with a lot of the stuff that she did say, and it is, but it's the same. To me, you can still use the same reference for your wife. Maybe not as much as protection, but still she is the person that supports you, because the umbrella can't do nothing the umbrella can't be nothing if it ain't held. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna end it there while I'm good. I'm trying to make sure my wife is happy in a good mood, like O is today. And I'm gonna go up there and lay some hands on her maybe later. So
Y'all are funny.
the
All
good
right,
kind of
so
Y'all ain't getting no. Y'all sound like y'all ain't getting no sleep tonight either.
hands. I hope not. Anyway, Coach, like, get me the hell out of here. Let's get this show over with, man.
I wanted to end today's podcast with some affirmations. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Matt. Some affirmations that I normally use with my yoga community. As I speak these words of life into you, just let the oil flow down and saturate your heart and your mind and soul. Say these affirmations to yourself. I am an immaculate and powerful being. I am that I am.
I am that I am.
I reject every negative and internal and external word and emotions of harm spoken over me, to me, and through me. I denounce anxiety, depression, and the residue of trauma. My mind is at peace. I find clarity in still quietness.
I find clarity and still quietness.
I forgive myself for the missteps that I have made. I forgive those who have mishandled me and the opportunity to be in my space. Forgiveness releases me into freedom. I change negative patterns in my life. I no longer waste moments of time because my time is valuable. I honor my physical body for carrying me to and from day to day. I reject every negative report given to me that I have received. I call forth wisdom, clarity of truth, and strength. I call forth strategy, self-control, and consistency. I call forth divine protection, resources, opportunities, and love. My divine purpose is clear. I give myself grace to evolve into my higher self, and I prosper. Baby, you can
All
turn
right.
up the volume.
Oh, you want me to turn it up? Hold on, I'm gonna end the show, baby. Time to go, but I'll turn it up a little bit. All right, there we go.
Okay.
Y'all hear it?
Yes.
All right. Well, I want to definitely thank you, Vicky, for coming out, doing this show, and telling me, saying that you wanted to do it and was willing. So it was a great time. Make sure y'all come and check us out again tomorrow. Dad Natalia will be up. It'll be the Knox season 2.
Yep.
And don't worry, this show will never end with music like this again. But we're gonna do this because my wife told me that I'm trying to be a obedient umbrella. So I just want to thank y'all for showing. Thank you, Miss O, for all your great words and all the untruths you said about your husband. But we gonna let him go. And then Coach, thank you for enduring this and having fun and hanging out with us. And Matty Ice Cold Crypto and our wife. And definitely thank my wife, my beautiful, gorgeous wife, Queen Beast Victoria. Also know at the Zenden, make sure you follow everybody at the bottom. All their information is the bottom. You want to follow them on their platforms. I got a feeling we might be having their own podcast soon, the way they was going today. So we'll see what happens with that. But life is good.
I'm down.
Everybody stay blessed and God bless. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Living in an changing the